KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
A former teacher gets 20 years in prison after being convicted of molesting his student. I'm Julian Hernandez with more from the courtroom, as well as testimony from the student.
Plus, a disabled veteran is attacked and his pickup truck stolen as he was here at this local gas station in Mighty earlier this week. I'm Vic Delgado with a story as police investigate.
And Guam's governor calls senators back into special session to tackle the Attorney General's withdrawal of GovGuam cases. Nestor Locanto has that report. Hafade, good evening, and Biba Mestimoto, everybody. I'm Jason Salas filling in for Nick Delgado and Destiny Cruz on this Fresco Friday. Glad you could join us, and these are tonight's top stories. Well, a former charter school teacher in our top story, convicted of molesting his student, is going to have to spend the next 2 decades locked up. Defendant Daryl Lujan will now have to register as a level 1 sex offender. Julian Hernandez has more in this story.
Daryl DeFrancis Lujan is placed in handcuffs and taken into custody by marshals at the Superior Court. Lujan learning his fate before Judge Maria Sanson. He got 20 years for molesting his 14-year-old student and for asking the teen to send him inappropriate images. Lujan showing remorse inside the courtroom.
I'm just truly sorry for everything that happened. I'm living a nightmare where I just simply can't wait to get out from. So for whatever the reason is and the cause, I truly apologize to the family. I truly apologize to my family.
The teenage victim watched as his molester apologized. The situation is still too much for the child to testify in court. Instead, prosecuting attorney Christine Tenorio shared the victim's statement.
I have to say, everything messed me up my freshman year because of you. You caused all this pain and suffering. You gave me this endless nightmares of how being aggressive and hurt others. I went to a darker side of myself for so long, but that meant nothing to you. Just as long as you got what you wanted, right? I had to struggle to fix and rebuild myself.
Through the prosecutor, the child showcasing how he's been able to turn around his trauma.
I hope you understand once you go in there and face the hell you're going to face. Now you'll see the hell I face throughout the life you destroyed of mine. I am no longer afraid of you.
The child's mother also in tears as she shared the pain Lujan's action caused.
I don't consider you a human being, because people like you don't deserve to be called humans. You have destroyed my son. You have traumatized my son. He is not the same happy, humble, humorous, loving child I raised. He still has flashbacks. He will fall into the dark hole that you put him in.
She echoed her son's call to give Lujan the harshest punishment possible.
Give this evil, sick, ugly bastard the life sentence. So you will feel the same thing my son feels till now. I don't care if it was a minimum or whatever you said. He's gonna do it again.
Lujan was a teacher at a local charter school when he was arrested. He was convicted last October of second-degree criminal sexual conduct. Lujan will now have to register as a level 1 sex offender. Despite the apology in court, defense plans to fight the conviction before justices in the Supreme Court. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
Well, moving on in tonight's broadcast, an early morning robbery and carjacking in the central village of Mighty sent one island resident to the hospital with the suspect remaining on the run. Our Nick Delgado spoke exclusively with the victim as authorities are asking the community to help them find his attacker.
The stitches and bruises are all that's left on Jesus Ramirez's face.
It's upsetting that it happened.
The 76-year-old Vietnam veteran recovering after a frightening encounter early Tuesday morning.
How am I? Right now it's really hard to tell, really. I think if I see the guy again, the guy, I probably know him because he was riding right along the road here.
The incident unfolding just before 5 a.m. Tuesday in his home village.
Now, Mr. Ramirez tells me that this is his usual routine. Every morning, he comes over here to this mobile gas station, fills the air on his tires as needed, but that's when the unexpected occurred.
Surveillance video at the gas station capturing this image of the suspect riding a bicycle. The suspect then asking Ramirez for a ride up the street.
I said, no, because I'm not going that way. Then he put his bike on the back of the pickup. So while we were sort of talking, he asked me again, could you take him up to the gas station and drop him? I said, no.
The suspect using that as an opportunity to take advantage of Ramirez.
He took off his bike on the back of the pickup. I tried to hang on to the pickup, but I wasn't able to do it. I fell off. I got this injury here.
The suspect then took off with his truck. Ramirez was taken to the hospital and treated for his injuries. Social media quickly spreading word of the incident, circulating this image of a 2022 silver Toyota Tacoma similar to Ramirez's pickup and his license plates MC1282. Guam police detectives are searching for the suspect, only described as being a man with a slim build and possibly Chamorro with a blue or green bicycle. The incident has Ramirez saying he will now be more alert moving forward.
No, yeah, it's scary. But, first riding, now it's scary, but, at the time, I wasn't too aware that this would happen.
Police are asking the public to help them catch the suspect. Anyone with information is asked to call GPD Dispatch. Nick Delgado, KUAM News.
Well, senators just concluded an emergency session yesterday, and today were called into another special session by the governor. This time, they sought to avert what she believes could be agency service shutdowns due to a lack of legal representation. Nestor Lecanto has our next report.
The governor cites as the root of the problem Attorney General Douglas Moylan's declaration that his office doesn't represent the government, but rather the people. She contends the lack of legal representation will stall key projects, even sending out a letter that it will delay construction of the already long-delayed Simon Sanchez High School. This despite reassurances by Moylan to lawmakers yesterday that he would continue his legal review of contracts with the caveat he's not representing agency directors directly. The governor remains unconvinced, though, and specifically called for action on Senator Sabina Paris's bill. That bill would raise the threshold for AG review of contracts from $500,000 to $1 million. But Speaker Therese Terlahi says the bill has nothing to do with the issue at hand.
I'm surprised the governor sends that down as that's the most urgent thing that we should do. She put it first. Before taking care of agencies that don't have any counsel, she wants us to take care of her and make sure that she can contract $1 million without the Attorney General even reviewing that. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't address a crisis. That is a grab for something using this crisis as a pretense.
The governor hurled similar characterizations in a statement yesterday, calling the emergency session a, quote, dog and pony show to give Moylan a soapbox to justify what she calls his dereliction of duty. The AG contends that he temporarily withdrew full representation of some 22 agencies because of ongoing litigation in which the courts could decide if he has the authority to both prosecute them and provide civil representation. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Now, as a corollary to the story, late this afternoon, your elected senators abruptly adjourned session. They were discussing another bill by Amanda Shelton, with which they sought to allow for the hiring of an independent legal counsel in cases where the Attorney General's office could not represent an agency. Elsewhere tonight, the Indo-Pacific region is on the cusp of a new missile age, according to a national think tank expert, and our island needs to be as visible as possible in Washington to have our concerns heard. Ankit Panda was the keynote speaker at the UOG Class Annual Research Conference on Thursday, discussing missile buildups and escalating risks in Guam and throughout the region. He urged local leaders and activists alike to remain vocal and engaged.
It is of course, unfortunately, all too common for Guam to be talked about as a piece of land in the Pacific, and not as a home for people that live here, all right? People with real concerns about these intensifying dynamics that I've talked about.
He also says geopolitical dynamics, specifically the U.S.-China competition, continue to drive both allies and potential adversaries in the region to pursue significant new missile capabilities. And he says the harsh reality is that Guam has been and will continue to be in the crosshairs.
I would make the argument that ultimately, I think, regardless of what the United States chooses to do, with the exception of missile defense, which can intensify the kind of targeting that the adversary has to do, because if they're concerned about missile defense, they'll have to assign more missiles. But I'd say, I mean, Guam, regardless, is going to be a target, and it has been for a long time. It is ultimately, for lack of a better phrase, if any adversary wants to reach out, any Asian adversary wants to reach out and touch Americans or touch America, Guam is the closest place to do that.
Now that, of course, again, Ankit Panda speaking at the University of Guam. He is of the Washington, D.C.-based Carnegie Endowment for International Peace organization. Now, just so you know, on Monday, we here at KUAM are going to premiere a new special card guarding the tip of the spear, and our Destiny Cruise has an in-depth report on the THAAD missile system. That special will air Monday, March 11th, following KUAM News Primetime, and it'll be streaming on our YouTube channel as well. Well, please stay tuned, everybody. There is much more prime time when we return. Please stay.
Half a Day Fresco Fridays on KUAM News. Presented by Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas. Located in Hagåtña, just across from the Gatti Shopping Center.
Half a Day, your skip entertainment company. Join us at the Hagåtña City Block Party on Saturday, March 9 at Plaza de España in Hagåtña.
All proceeds benefit the Guam Cancer Care and the American Cancer Society Guam. Alongside the run, there will be food, a kids zone, live entertainment, a 3-on-3 tournament, and amazing local vendors.
Hey, more morning, it's your boy Straight Up Jed, posted here at the Plaza de España, and make sure you pull up to Bank of Guam's Run and Block Party going down on March 9, 2024. And if you're wondering why I'm breathing hard, it's because I need to work on my cardio. But anyways, make sure you pull up because all proceeds will be going to Guam Cancer Care and American Cancer Society Guam. Let's do that run, baby.
Welcome back to Primetime, everybody. The president earlier today addressed the nation in his State of the Union address, and the stakes could not be higher. With the general election now officially underway and his job approval numbers seemingly low, the commander-in-chief delivered a passionate speech covering several themes, including the economy, reproductive rights, and preserving democracy. NBC has the latest.
President of the United States.
President Biden addressing the nation tonight in one of the most important speeches of his political life.
I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have.
The president using his third State of the Union to tout his accomplishments.
15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record, a record.
The president vowing to fight for reproductive rights.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
As protesters gathered outside over his handling of the Israel-Hamas war, inside the chamber, President Biden addressed both family members of Israeli hostages and lawmakers from his own party outraged about the suffering in Gaza.
I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza.
With the new Republican House Speaker sitting behind him, the president pressing House GOP members to pass aid for Ukraine, as well as funding for Israel and the U.S. southern border.
Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching.
Former President Trump using his social media platform to rebut tonight's speech.
We cannot take it any longer as a country.
With the 2024 general election now underway, President Biden seizing the moment as both commander-in-chief and candidate.
More political news as Sinamay Congressman Gregorio Sablon, a Democrat, and Guam Delegate James Moylan, a Republican, were on the House floor during the president's State of the Union speech. Sablon spoke with KUAM's Tomas Mangloni immediately following the address.
It was strong. It was a very strong address. His message was, was clear. His work on the economy, and he's addressed the economy, with jobs, inflation, education, investments in manufacturing and R&D for America. He addressed climate change, the environment, the unfair tax system right now, education, child tax. Oh my goodness, he wants to make those things permanent.
Delegate Moylan was not available for comment, but did share on social media that he did invite Lena Perez to be a guest at his event. She is a downwinder and is in D.C. seeking justice for the harm caused by nuclear testing throughout the region. Well, a group of more than 80 firefighters in the NMI is seeking a collective bargaining agreement for fair wages, fair treatment, and benefits. Here's Tomas Manglona once more on the developments of this story.
It's the first of its kind in the NMI, the Northern Marianas Professional Firefighters Union Local 5335, and its 82 members hope to put out fires in their profession to benefit everyone. Edward De La Cruz represents members from the Commonwealth Ports Authority's Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Unit.
We're not here to knock down doors or take anybody out. We're here to help employers out and employees. We just need a chance to be able to open dialogue and educate them about what we're here for.
The union, created in 2021, is a nonprofit and affiliate of the International Association of Firefighters, which represents more than 343,000 firefighters and paramedics across the U.S. and Canada. Fire Captain Paul Sasamoto is the union's president and represents members at the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services. He shares some concerns over his 2 decades of service.
I experienced 13 years of no WGI. So we're looking for WGI, fair wages, fair treatment, and benefits.
So our biggest 2 target goals with the union right now, with the government, is to initiate a collective bargaining agreement. Now, we're one firefighting union. We represent CPA and DFEM's employees. However, we're trying to initiate a collective bargaining agreement with CPA for our firefighters, and we're trying to initiate a collective bargaining agreement with Division of Fire and Emergency Medical Services with DFEM's employees. That's the main total goal of this, is to come to the table and say, hey, we want to collectively bargain, just like they did in Guam and all these other states and territories with the municipality. The second goal is trying to start a paramedic program here. I understand that critics are saying that we don't need this, but then it's greatly needed to have a paramedic program.
They're also advocating for the health and safety of first responders. Tomas Manglona, KUAM News, Saipan.
Well, we've got some more news about firefighters, but for our island, as this Sunday marks not only the kickoff of Fire Recognition Week, but also a week full of activities commemorating the Guam Fire Department's 39th birthday. It was on March 13th, 1985, when GFD officially separated from the Department of Public Safety, and according to local spokesman Lieutenant Nick Garrido, a fire muster will start things off at 10 a.m. at the Agana Shopping Center's parking lot.
So we're trying to bring back that camaraderie internally within the Guam Fire Department. And it's going to consist of different types of events. We're having a Cut and Pika challenge. We're having a mini course for the kids, as well as an internal muster event or competition between the different stations, different cycles, and different personnel.
There's also going to be a 3-on-3 basketball tournament with our friends at Clutch, cornhole competition, and even a kickball event. The week-long birthday celebration concludes with a GFD Fire Formal, where the department will present some very deserving awards.
Come out and enjoy and cheer on your local firefighters.
All right, once again, the GFD Fire Muster Competition, it's a really good spectator event. Trust me, I've covered many of them. That goes down on Sunday the 10th at 10 a.m. downtown at the Agana Shopping Center parking lot. Please make sure to check that out. And in other news this evening, DFS is celebrating Mestomoro by launching a never-seen-before exhibit 7 years in the making. It is called Guinaizata, All That We Have. The existence is in collaboration with Kaha and multiple local artists, with DFS Senior Manager for Integrated Marketing Operations James Santos telling KUAM News about the brains behind the 14 stunning images portraying our beloved local culture.
Vince Regis, master of Chamorro dance, has been perpetuating our culture for many, many years, and I've had great respect for his work and his vision. And when he brought this concept to me 2 years ago, he started to share the ideas behind the imagery and how he wants to really elevate the culture. So along with Steve Hardy, who was a photographer, award-winning photographer for these photos, and their creative team, they put together this wonderful photo exhibition that we're seeing behind me here.
The exhibit includes beautiful displays of woven artworks from master weaver Philip Santos and the Barcina sisters. Now, one familiar piece is an outfit worn by Guam-born star Pia Mia during the Liberation Day parade. We're going to have more details on this collaboration next week, where you can hear from more of the creative, talented people behind the artwork. For now, please head down to Tumon and check out the exhibit at the T Galleria in Tumon. The displays will be up until the end of April. All right, what would an episode of Primetime be without a look at your world at home? And here is where we are taking you today, downtown. You know where this is. If you haven't been out here on foot, it's absolutely amazing. Really, really safe. Just wear a comfortable pair of shoes. Be safe. Absolutely gorgeous view. This is, of course, Boat Basin right on the breakwater downtown in Hagåtña.
Troy Polamalu Safety, a.k.a. the Quiet Storm. Troy's seen more out of the corners of his cold steel eyes than most mortal men have seen straight on. The last thing an offense would witness? A fury of flowing mane, incoming at high speed.
Hey!
Cat-like quickness and supernatural instincts like Troy's only come once in a lifetime. And oh, how grateful we are that they came in ours. No one made the beloved burg of Pittsburgh feel quite as safe as this safety. The Hyundai Tucson with advanced safety and tech, because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves.
first time in 30 years, Coors Light has an ad in the big game.
Actually, this is a Miller Lite commercial.
Mountain Cold Refreshment. It's Miller time. Great taste. Less filling. Cold as the Rockies. Coors commercial. Miller commercial.
Actually, it's a Blue Moon commercial.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Well, we have some very hardworking women here at KUAM, and our ladies took a very well-deserved special few moments today. They took a little break celebrating the true sisterhood that they enjoy as part of International Women's Day. Our team got to pick out some beautiful midday arts and crafts, courtesy of our friends at Lovely Studs. They did some fun activities together and enjoyed some really seriously delicious snacks. We hope you enjoy your favorite women today, and here is how our lovely local ladies enjoyed theirs.
Delicious.
Foodie Call is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like.
Howdy guys, welcome back to another edition of Foodie Calls. And today's calling is here in Agana with our friends at Fizz & Co. We're gonna go check out what they got for us. And follow me.
My name is Helena from Fizz & Co. and today we will be making an iced keki, a New York dog, and a dirty soda. There you go. That's the iced keki. Our dirty soda.
Guys, so now we're back with the iced keki, the dirty soda, and the New York hot dog made by our friends here at Fizz & Co. Mix it, we'll give it a try. Really good. Now moving on to our second drink, which is the iced keki. No, we'll give this a mix. Yo, that really tastes like an iced keki, the red one. All right, and now moving on to our New York hot dog. So delicious. I'm big on onions, I'm big on bacon, and you can never go wrong with ketchup and mustard with a good old hot dog. And that's it for today's edition of Foodie Calls, brought to you by Pepsi and our friends here at Fizz & Co. They actually just turned 10 years, guys, so make sure you go check them out. Keep supporting local. See you guys next week. Cheers.
Foodie Call is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like.
All right, everybody, an art exhibit called The Voyage Home is happening. Make sure to check it out because it is going to be absolutely incredible. A collection and expression of life in the ocean. Support this amazing photographer, Deuce Place at Tumon Bay. West Care Pacific Islands is hosting the 2024 Spring Camp for Kids. Specifically, if you're a young person between 11 and 14, enrollment is free. But you got to get it done. March 25th through the 29th, starting at 8:30 in the morning at the Jonya Community Center. And pesticide safety training is happening up in the NMI. Learn about how to properly use these chemicals and what they are capable of. Refreshments and lunch will be provided up in the CNMI. That is News Bites on Friday. Get your party hats on. It's time for your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts. You cannot start your island weekend without celebrating birthdays, so here we go. Happy birthday on Friday to Ben Pangolin, wishing you, Ben, many years of good health and happiness. May all your birthday wishes come true from your loving and adoring family and friends. Christine Leon Guerrero to Tin. Hey, we have a Tin here, and she's awesome. And Christine, we know you're awesome too. And your shout out says, may your day have love and laughter from the family and all of us that appreciate you. And they say enthusiastically, Biba Tin. Have a great birthday. Jared Nadine St. Nicholas, happy birthday number 2 to Jared Nadine. We love you always. Say mom, dad, and your sisters. And Nina Calvo Kirigua, happy 15th birthday to Nina. Hope your birthday serves. Hey, she's really good in beach volleyball. You guys who plays for St. John's, really, really good. We hope you serve up much happiness, love, and good vibes. And we love you, Nina Bean, says all your family, friends, and your classmates. All right, now the owner of a Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake for this week is Bella Jubilato, who was born on the 29th of February. And Bella will let you know how you can pick up your prize. And we hope you enjoy it, and we hope you share with your family and friends, because you've earned it, because it's your extended birthday present. All right, everybody, happy birthday to Nina, again featured in our Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Programming note, because her brother Toby and his FD Friars are playing the Guam High Panthers, you can watch that live. That's going to be at 7 o'clock tonight. You're going to be able to watch it live on the Clutch Guam YouTube channel and right here on KUAM TV8. Friars, Panthers for the IIAAG Boys Basketball Championship. That's going to be a good game. Enjoy, everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and from all of us here at our Harmon Studios, please be safe.
The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
United Airlines has won a long-sought slot at Tokyo's Haneda Airport to serve a new direct flight to Guam. It may be just one flight for now, but a very important one. Haneda's location within the Tokyo city limits makes it a much more convenient connection to Guam for the millions of potential customers within the metropolitan and surrounding areas. In short, it could provide another much-needed boost for key Japanese market arrivals. And for Guam customers, especially business travelers, a direct flight into Tokyo also promises added convenience and global connections. Coming up on The Hub, we speak with United's Managing Director for Airport Operations in the Pacific, Sam Shinohara. He'll talk about some of the game-changing impacts of the new direct flight to Tokyo. We'll be right back.
The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Looks like it's prime time, huh?
Dr. Garcia?
Crest Reality Checkup. That grimy film on your teeth is actually the buildup of plaque bacteria, which can cause cavities in months. And your toothpaste just isn't cutting it.
Most toothpaste quit working in minutes, but the antibacterial fluoride in Crest Pro Health protects for up to 12 hours.
So I can stop cavities before they start.
Can I get a latte?
The #1 toothpaste brand in America, Crest.
Unlock your brightest smile with Crest. Available now at Payless.
The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Hafa day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Hub. I'm Nestor Lecanto, and our guest this week is Mr. Sam Shinohara, who is the United Airlines Managing Director for Airport Operations in the Pacific. Basically, I like to think of him as the top executive for United Airlines on Guam. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Hafa day, Nestor. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We brought you on to talk about this new Guam to Haneda route, which I think many people are calling a possible game changer. And I know that United has been wanting the slots at Haneda for quite some time. Can you explain, first of all, what that process has been like, and then how you came about to acquire the slots at Haneda?
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for the question, Nestor. So, if I could pick one word to describe it, maybe very involved. I'll take us a little bit of a walk back in time. So we started, I think, in 2019 when route authorities became available. And at that juncture, United Airlines was the only one who put in an application for Guam. Unfortunately, they approved application awards for other destinations, but not for Guam. And then COVID came and we weren't able to, fly anything, but we started our operations back in 2022 in Haneda. And then had the opportunity, or we not quite an official opportunity, but we saw an opportunity when other folks were not utilizing their slots in Haneda. And we wrote a note to the Department of Transportation asking them, saying, hey, we noticed not everybody's utilizing their slots. We would love to have the opportunity to fly between Guam and Haneda. We're ready to go. Please give us an opportunity. They said, no, we're going to give the other carriers an opportunity to utilize those slots. Then, lo and behold, the same slot that we were asking to utilize was returned by the carrier. And just as soon as they hit return, we submitted our application to provide service between Guam and Haneda, and then within a couple weeks' time, the Department of Transportation, granted our request, and here we are today with the only carrier who has, number one, shown interest in a Guam and Haneda route, and the only carrier who has the equipment and ability to operate between Guam and Haneda, and we're really excited that we're going to be able to provide this service on May 1st.
Yeah. Most people know that Haneda, of course, is within the metropolitan Tokyo area. United has flown to Tokyo through Narita, which is a couple of hours away, perhaps. So explaining significance to Guam, especially for Japanese tourist arrivals, of having the slots at Haneda.
Well, so number one, I think our presence in Narita is not going to change, and that's going to remain a pivotal component of our network and our ability to connect passengers, across Asia and into the United States from Guam. And so none of that is going to change. The exciting thing about Haneda is that airport is in the heart of downtown Tokyo. And so for that traveling passenger originating from Japan, no longer needs to think about jumping on a train, taking a car, a taxi, or a bus, an hour or 90 minutes from downtown Tokyo into Narita to catch a flight to Guam. He can start his journey, with basically a 15 to 20 minute cab ride or a shorter train ride from downtown metropolitan Tokyo into Haneda Airport. So that's going to make it super convenient for folks and save the traveling public in Japan a couple of bucks. Much needed dollar savings based on where the yen is right now. And so that's super exciting. And then on the other side of the coin, for a traveler from Guam, you will arrive into the heart of downtown Tokyo. If you're arriving pretty late at night, the reality is a flight leaving at 5 o'clock on Guam, arriving into Narita, you're going to be checking in the hotel the same time that person is departing Guam at 7:30 to catch arriving into Haneda. So it's going to be great. I think it's going to be benefiting everyone on both ends, especially the traveler out of Guam. I'll say that to catch a 5 o'clock flight out of Guam to Narita, you're probably going to have to leave work a little bit early because you want to get to the airport, at least an hour, if not more, before your flight. And so you're bugging out early. You have to pack, go get your stuff, and come to the airport versus a 7:30 departure, arriving in the heart of downtown Tokyo. Be able to complete your workday. For someone like you, Nestor, I know you've got things up until the news hour, and so I think this is going to work out fantastic for both the Japanese traveler who we're really excited to provide this service to, and certainly for the people of Guam as well that want to experience Tokyo.
All right, can you talk a little bit more about the equipment that you're going to be using, and more about the times the time for departure and arrival, both from Tokyo and from Guam?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to use a 737-800. I think everybody's very familiar with that airplane in this part of the world. That's the consistent equipment type that we have for all of our narrow body flights. It has 166 seats, 16 seats up in the front, and 160 seats, 150 seats in the back of the airplane. So a lot of seats to accommodate the traveling public. I think the good thing about this flight is, really happy that it's given us the ability to add yet one additional airplane to the fleet here on the island. And so we have airplanes that are dedicated to providing service in and out of Guam. So that's really exciting for the team here, because that means more work for our tech ops team, more flying for our flight attendants, our pilots, and certainly more work for our airport folks. And so that flight between Guam and Haneda departs Guam, I believe at 7:30. It's a 7:30 departure, gets into Haneda around 10:30, and the return flight is just before midnight, getting in just after 4 a.m. Into Guam. And so we're going to need a lot of support from everybody, Nestor, to make it work. While we're super excited about it, this is not the ideal timing for this particular flight. But when you can get a slot in Haneda and you got your toe in that door, boy, oh boy, do you push that door down. And that's exactly what we're doing. And so this is our entry into this market. We're going to fully take advantage of it. But our sales team is working really hard with just about everybody. And so, it really starts in Japan, because, our hope is that we get Japanese tourists to flood the market here. And we're working with all of the consolidators and all of our travel partners in Japan to fill up this airplane. The feedback we're getting is not an issue departing Guam, arriving into Haneda, but certainly there's a lot of concern about departing Haneda, arriving into Guam at so early in the morning, and potentially having to pay for an additional night of hotel stay, to accommodate themselves. So we're working with all the hoteliers to find a way to make it an attractive offering for all of the folks traveling from Japan into Guam.
Yeah. Speaking of the Japanese arrivals, as you probably know, the arrivals have been in a little bit of a slump still since the pandemic, especially compared to Korea. Can you take us back and explain what are some of the factors in that? I know a lot of it has to do with the exchange rate, yen to dollar. Talk about those factors that have, kind of perpetuated this kind of slump in arrivals from Japan.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of the biggest factor. Certainly the exchange rate, the yen at 150 to the US dollar is a really challenging sales proposition for anyone, right? And so, think about it this way. Yesterday, it cost the Japanese traveler $100 to come and visit Guam, and today it's going to cost them $150 to experience the same thing. So it's very challenging economics for them. And so, we're doing a lot of different things to provide value, for the customer. And the good thing is, here at United Airlines, we have great partnerships with all of the travel trade community here. And so we've been really working hard with them to find a way to make the offering, not just for this Haneda flight, but certainly a lot of focus and emphasis on this Haneda flight. But, for all of our Japan flight offerings, to make it a little bit more attractive for the Japan traveler to pick Guam and keep Guam top of mind. Because we are combating a really terrible exchange rate conversion for them. On top of the currency conversion, I want to say that Asia's really opened up a really, really strong way, and has really provided a competitive offering, and has done a great job to open up their different countries. And so whether it's Taiwan, whether it's Korea, Thailand, Thailand right now is really, on fire for Japanese travelers. And so, their Japanese yen gets really far in those different countries. And so that's something that we're really challenged with, and just the plethora of offerings that, these competitive markets have, over Guam. And, I think the challenge is, for Guam as a destination, clearly, we're close. I think we are a very, very safe destination. The currency's a big challenge for us, but through COVID, we've had so many tourism businesses that have not reopened their doors. And so I think option tours and honestly even small mom and pop type restaurants really haven't reopened their doors just because they haven't seen the volume of the tourism numbers come back. And so that's something that as a destination we need to work on collaboratively to reconcile because the destinations really are providing a significantly competitive offering for us. And so I think a lot of it gets corrected with the currency improving in Japan for sure. But in the meantime, we got to go out of our way to provide, friendly, amazing service to all of our visitors, whether they're from Japan or other destinations. But I really think that those are the significant challenges for us that we're combating against. And transportation on the ground, I think slowly but surely, kind of coming back together, as we see more and more regular visitation from folks. We need to see the red trolleys back on the road in full force. We need to see more busing services, to and from the airport and the different option tours. Those things, I think when the tour operators see that kind of confidence in the market, I think it gives them a little bit more comfort in selling the destination as well. And so we've got some work to do, but I know everybody's laser focused on rebounding the tourism industry for sure.
Yeah, and as Guam's tourism industry was built on the back of Japanese arrivals, and it, in your mind, continues to be one of the most important, if not the most important, source market for us.
Absolutely, Nestor. We've got a lot of investment in the Japan markets for sure, and so outside of Tokyo. At the Narita area, United's the only one who's serving Osaka, Nagoya, Fukuoka. And we're really, kind of proud to be able to provide that service. And we've got deep-rooted relationships with the travel trade industry in those different markets. But the reality is we've got a lot of capacity between Guam and Japan, and we don't have the customer base for it right now. And so, we're working hard to make sure folks understand we have a consistent schedule that we've put out there. So from a access perspective, there's no reason why folks can't book a ticket other than the currency challenges that we're seeing. And so we're trying to find a way to ensure that we're working with all of our partners to provide a great offering. But Japan has always been a great market for Guam. It's been the foundation of our industry. It's nice to see the Korea numbers coming in where they are. And I think Japan's slowly but surely creeping up a little bit. And so I think this boost in a little bit of additional flight activity and direct access into the Tokyo downtown proper area, I think is going to help us a little bit more.
How about the target Japanese demographic? Has that changed? And who would be the ones that we want to attract to Guam, or who would be more willing to come to Guam from Japan?
Well, Nestor, it's a great question. I think number one is we'll take anybody who wants to get on an airplane for sure. And so, we're not going to be picky, from that perspective. And I think the reality is the population is somewhat aging in Japan. So I think Guam continues to be a family destination. It's a generational destination. You have grandparents, you have parents, you have kids, you have grandkids, all taking the same trip together. And so we want to continue to build on that foundation. But we also think that FIT traveler, not so much just the office later, but the younger generation of Japanese folks who are looking for, kind of nice, quick, fun getaway. I think, there's a lot of opportunity for us to reach out to that particular group through different new social media, kind of venues to really try to capture that business. And so rather than just the traditional, office lady type visitors and just the family destination, we can try to capture the young visitor as well. I will say, through COVID, we lost a lot of the school group traffic, but we are seeing that start to come back just a little bit. And I think that's a really important part of our visitor portfolio and something that we need to push hard on. And we're working with different school groups. We're trying to work with the university as well to try to connect with the different universities in Japan as well to try to promote visitation to Guam at that younger age. And so when they are in the professional workforce, we'll keep Guam top of mind as they remember the great time they had on a school experience trip here into the island.
All right, we got to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more of our conversation with Sam Shinohara, who is the United Airlines Managing Director for Airport Operations in the Pacific. We'll be right back.
The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Oh, yeah. Hot honey pizza and wings from Pizza Wahat.
Pizza Wahat.
Pizza Wahat. Hot honey pizza and wings. It's the first new flavor to make you say, Pizza what?
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Brian Dawkins, Safety, aka Weapon X. Brian laughs at audibles, laughs. For there is nothing he does not anticipate. He is never caught off guard, because his guard is always up. His skills of perception are honed like talons. Brian sees all. He knows all. Dominates all. His defensive prowess is feared the world over. The all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 with advanced safety and tech. Because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves. Search for your Hyundai Ioniq 5 today.
The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Sam Shinohara, who is the United Airlines Managing Director for Asia Pacific. And Sam, before we went to the break, we talked a little bit about the Japan market, but I wanted to expand the discussion for United in general. How does the additional Haneda slot help with your global connections?
Oh, hey, I'll start with, saying that we're going to, with this Guam flight, we're going to have up to 6 flights out of Haneda. And so, we had humble beginnings in Haneda. We had 1 flight to San Francisco before 2019. And so, we've grown tremendously over there. In terms of connections, I will say that, this flight in particular is not going to connect fabulously to the United Airlines flights in and out of the United States. It will connect directionally. So if you're coming in from any of the U.S. hubs that we fly into out of Haneda, you can connect coming into Guam. It will be a long connection time, but I promise you that there are so many amazing things to do at the Haneda airport that it might be something, an option that folks might be looking into. And so, so I think from that direction, coming back to Guam would be great. I think heading out, there are really no connections to the United States there. But we are going to be able to provide some connectivity into some of the Japan domestic cities that that our carrier partner ANA flies into, and so that's something that we are in direct discussions with ANA on to see what we can make work and how many different flights we can connect to. Right now, there's probably over a dozen different domestic destinations that folks can catch. But now with this new flight and the nature of our partnership with ANA, we can look at schedules and see what we can tweak to make things make sense. On the scheduling end, unfortunately, our arrival and departure times in Haneda we don't have the ability to change because we are locked into those particular slots. So there's no flexibility in there. But for opportunities to connect onto ANA and beyond, I think there probably be some significant opportunity for sure.
Yeah. Well, I got you here. Why don't you talk about the airline industry as a whole? As we know, the pandemic kind of put a big damper on the industry, and it did so for a couple of years. But now we're a couple of years removed from the pandemic, and before that, we were talking about pent-up demand and how the industry was going to rebound. What is the state of would you say of the airline industry currently?
Well, I think that's a different answer depending on which region you're speaking from. So, obviously the bounce back in the United States kind of sort of happened overnight as they released the different restrictions that were in place on traveling. And so that kind of happened overnight. In fact, our U.S. business travel portfolio has, exceeded pre-COVID numbers. Our business into Latin America has been phenomenal. We've grown so much. In fact, in Latin America and Europe, we're bigger than we were prior to the pandemic. And in Asia, if you back out, or the entirety of the Pacific, if you back out all of the China flying that we're not doing today, we're actually larger today than we were prior to the pandemic. And so, our China flying hasn't come back in as robust a means as we would like it to be. And that's really a function of, both governments have restricted flight activity in and out of China. And so, until that bounces back, we kind of won't really be able to kind of see where things are. Japan has been very, very slow, for obvious reasons. The bulk of our business, outside of the Guam traffic, the bulk of our business is, traffic between Japan and the United States. And really, just the currency has challenged that business proposal. We have relaunched all of our flight activity for sure. The load factors are decent, but we are not as full as we were before. And so, the good thing is, I think, if you've been paying attention to United Airlines and our United Next program, is we are taking a significant number of airplane deliveries. And that really gives us the ability to look at things from a lens that we weren't able to look at it from before, because we were so airplane constrained before. But now we're taking airplanes every week, and that gives us the ability to grow. And quite frankly, while we're not getting a brand new airplane coming our way, we are getting an airplane to augment our fleet here. And without the airplane deliveries, we probably wouldn't be able to launch these new markets that we've added to this part of the world, and quite frankly, rebound the way we've rebounded. And so, I think the future is pretty